In the very heart of the boundless ocean lies an island that seems ordinary only at first glance. Every explorer approaching its shores feels an invisible tension in the air. Legends about the mysterious island are passed down from generation to generation among local sailors. They say that the animals on this patch of land behave strangely. They avoid any contact with humans, which goes against their natural instincts of curiosity. The first step onto the island is a plunge into the unknown. The trees, bent by constant storm winds, seem like silent witnesses to secret events. The trails, cut through by roots and covered in moss, lead deep into the forest, where a heavy atmosphere prevails. The scientists who have arrived here try not to waste any time. They set up camp right by the water, scanning the horizon for the slightest signs of anything unusual. The first night passes in tense anticipation. Only the rustling of leaves and the cries of animals break the silence. However, none of them dare to come closer to the camp. The researchers set up camera traps, but the footage confirms just one thing: the animals stop long before they come into view. It's as if an invisible wall is holding them back. Before dawn, while the island is still shrouded in mist, the scientists venture deeper inland. They find tracks belonging to large mammals, but all of them avoid human paths. Soon, another anomaly is discovered. The tracks abruptly end, as if the animals suddenly change direction. This only deepens the intrigue. What force is controlling their behavior? But the island's mysteries are only beginning to unfold. Soon, the scientists will stumble upon something hidden deep within this land, which may shed light on the reason behind the local wildlife's strange behavior. The animals are afraid. An invisible barrier? But what is making the animals avoid humans, as if they sense a threat on this mysterious land? The scientists continue their research, remaining constantly alert. They notice that even the smallest creatures avoid places where people have recently passed. These may seem like ordinary forest dwellers, but their behavior stands in stark contrast to what is usual and expected. Squirrels, usually playful and curious, dart away the moment they sense the presence of humans. Birds, instead of watching the scientists' activities with curiosity, prefer to keep their distance, spreading their wings and vanishing into the sky. The island's mysterious aura draws the researchers ever deeper into its green heart. They decide to change tactics and spend the night not in the camp but fully immersed in the forest thicket, hoping to see and understand what is really happening. But the night brings more questions than answers. In the darkness, sounds can be heard, rustlings, movements, but the animals remain out of sight. It seems as if the island itself is urging them to stay away, subjecting them to its invisible command. The next day, the group of scientists decides to explore the island's shores, where marine creatures and birds are often seen. But here, too, they encounter the same mystery. The animals avoid their path. It feels as if all of nature around them is acting according to some ancient instinct that cannot be explained by logic or science. A new challenge arises for the researchers to uncover the hidden forces that remain invisible to the human eye, yet are obvious to the island's inhabitants. What secret does this land conceal? The answer may be closer than they think, and it could shed light on the invisible barrier that protects the animals from human intrusion. Secrets in the earth. Ancient artifacts. As they travel across the island, the scientists make an unexpected discovery. In the forest, beneath a dense canopy of greenery, they find strange stone structures. These structures are clearly not natural formations. The shapes are too precise, the lines too sharp. The stones, covered in moss and lichen, tell of an ancient history hidden beneath the earth. One of the discoveries draws special attention, a massive stone circle reminiscent of an ancient altar. For several days, the researchers work diligently, clearing the site of ancient artifacts. They discover carvings on the surface of the stones depicting scenes with animals and people. Each image carries a story, but the meaning of these messages remains a mystery. Meanwhile, magnetic instruments record anomalous readings as if the earth itself is shifting. The excavation continues, and the scientists find objects buried in the ground, fragments of pottery, crudely made tools, and bones. All of this points to the existence of an ancient civilization, to whose culture these structures are dedicated. The unexpected discovery of old ritual masks prompts thoughts about shamanic rituals, possibly connected to animal behavior. The scientists meticulously document every find, hoping that a detailed analysis will reveal the secrets of the ancient inhabitants. But the mysteries of the island are not limited to material evidence alone. Around the ancient artifacts, altered animal behavior has been observed. They avoid these places as if afraid to come closer. It seems as if the island preserves memories of the past, passing them on to its inhabitants through invisible channels. While scientists try to decipher the message of the past, the sense of being on the verge of a great revelation becomes overwhelming. What exactly is hidden in the depths of this land? Every step forward brings them closer to an answer that could change everything we know about the interaction between people and nature on this mysterious island. A magnetic anomaly, land that changes behavior. The researchers who discovered the strange anomaly soon realized that the island's magnetic field behaves in a completely unpredictable way. The compasses they use start showing incorrect directions, making the scientists doubt the reliability of their instruments. Far from the camp, there are areas where the compass needle begins to spin endlessly, as if some evil force is guiding it. This place defies the laws of nature known to modern science. Special equipment brought in specifically detects disturbances in the magnetic field in different parts of the island. The instruments record sharp fluctuations, as if invisible forces are trying to disrupt the usual order of things. These anomalies coincide with areas where animals are especially cautious and avoid humans. It seems as if the very depths of the earth are trying to protect their inhabitants from outside interference. The scientists begin conducting experiments to understand the nature of these magnetic anomalies. They install sensors and record data, striving to identify patterns. However, these attempts are fraught with difficulties. Such phenomena cannot be explained solely by natural factors, which sparks both interest and bewilderment among everyone involved in the research. Delving deeper into their study, the scientists notice that the magnetic anomalies are connected to places where ancient artifacts have been found. This discovery leads them to consider the possibility that old rituals performed here may have left traces that still affect the Earth today. Each new find adds further pieces to the island's complex mosaic. Soon, the researchers decide to draw attention to their work. This could be the key to understanding not only animal behavior but also the centuries-old mysteries hidden within this land. Nature itself suggests that the solution is close at hand and will reveal itself at the most unexpected moment. The time spent on the island becomes a true test for both scientific reasoning and intuition. After all, every tree and every stone here holds its own secrets, shamanic legends. The legacy of the island's primitive inhabitants, where every step uncovers new mysteries. The scientists begin to study the myths associated with the ancient dwellers of this land. Legends collected from the local inhabitants tell of shamans who performed rituals capable of influencing the behavior of animals. These shamans, it is said, possessed remarkable abilities. They could communicate with nature and bend it to their will. It is said that in ancient times, animals were the protectors of these lands, serving as the island's guardians. Researchers delve deeper into the area where the artifacts were discovered. They find drawings on the cave walls depicting scenes that appear to be part of an ancient ritual. The images show people wearing animal masks, surrounded by dancing animals as if in a mystical community. These scenes reinforce the hypothesis that the ancient inhabitants may have used unique rituals to control the fauna. The journey across the island leads the scientists to one of the most significant discoveries. In one of the caves, they find an ancient drum covered in carvings, which shows signs of having been used in religious ceremonies. It turns out that the sound of this instrument is capable of creating resonance in certain parts of the island, which may explain its influence on the animals. The scientists decide to conduct an experiment. They recreate the rhythms depicted in the drawings and soon notice that the animals pause for a moment, as if listening to a long-forgotten melody. Each new discovery brings the scientists closer to unraveling the mystery. Everything they have found suggests that the ancient inhabitants possessed unique knowledge about the connection between nature and humans, but a complete understanding has not yet been achieved. Many questions remain unanswered. How were the shamans able to influence the world around them? Were their abilities the result of many years of practice? Or was some unknown force involved? The tension is rising. Research continues, and it is increasingly felt that the key to solving the great mystery is hidden in the depths of this island. Failed expeditions. Past attempts to solve the mystery. It's hard to believe, but this island has become a place associated with numerous failed expeditions. Stories of unsuccessful attempts to solve the mystery are passed down as a warning. Many research groups set out with the intention of uncovering the island's secrets, but their efforts were invariably doomed to failure. One of the earliest known attempts was an expedition in the 17th century when a group of explorers decided to study the anomalous behavior of the local fauna. However, their research ended with the sudden disappearance of the team, and no trace of them was ever found again. In the 19th century, yet another expedition set out for the island. These researchers encountered a mysterious illness that struck their ranks, significantly weakening the group. They were forced to return without achieving their goals. Medical journals of that era mentioned strange symptoms among the participants, which were not characteristic of any known diseases. All of this only strengthened the belief that the island harbored some unknown danger. At the beginning of the 20th century, yet another group of scientists tried to uncover the island's mystery. During their stay, equipment would break down, and their notes described strange sensations and hallucinations. Ultimately, the conditions forced them to abandon their attempts and evacuate. This series of failures gave rise to rumors about possible curses associated with the island. Modern researchers have studied data from past expeditions, trying to learn from previous mistakes. They tried to create safer research conditions and paid attention to the mystical aspects of the legends that have long surrounded this place. Nevertheless, even with advanced technology and thorough preparation, the island continues to remain an unyielding keeper of its secrets. The question of what exactly is hidden here remains unanswered, but scientists understand that each new discovery brings them closer to understanding the true nature of this mysterious place. Sound waves, the elusive language of nature. And just when the scientists begin to feel that the solution is within reach, all attention is drawn to the sounds. At night, amid the ringing silence, they notice an astonishing phenomenon, barely perceptible sound waves emanating from the ground. These subtle vibrations, seemingly invisible to the human ear, become tangible when you tune into them. Armed with special audio equipment, the scientists begin recording these sounds, hoping to find in them the key to understanding the mysterious behavior of the animals. Each night brings new discoveries. The sounds have a strange, hypnotic effect. They penetrate the mind, creating the illusion that nature itself is engaging in a dialogue. Some members of the expedition note that the sounds resemble the rhythms of ancient drums, as if the island comes alive, telling its story through music. These sound waves may influence the animals, creating an invisible barrier around them. Research shows that the sounds concentrate around certain points, where underground streams likely flow or artifacts are buried. In other words, the island speaks, using the language of nature, a language long forgotten by humans. Several scientists conduct an experiment, playing back recordings of the sound waves in different parts of the island. Their theory is that these sounds may be the link between Earth's magnetism and the behavior of the fauna. However, during the experiment, a new mystery arises. The animals begin to behave even more strangely. Some of them, who previously avoided humans, approach closer for a moment, as if trying to understand the source of the sound. This discovery makes the researchers stop and think. Perhaps these waves are not just a random natural phenomenon, but part of an ancient system created to protect the island. And although the scientists have come closer to understanding this phenomenon, they realize that the island still holds many secrets yet to be uncovered. Unraveling this mystery becomes a matter of time and patience. The feeling that they are on the verge of a great discovery never leaves them for a moment. The art of observation. The scientists' final discoveries. As time passes and more data is collected, the researchers begin to get to know this mysterious island more closely. They notice that each animal has a unique movement pattern that corresponds to the local anomalies. Constant observations record that as animals make their way through the forest, they not only avoid people but also keep their distance from certain areas of land. These zones coincide with places that have anomalous magnetic fields and sound waves. Thus, the scientists begin to doubt the natural origin of these phenomena. They decide to conduct more detailed research using advanced technologies. Soon it becomes clear that the island seems to have a life of its own. Every tree, stone, and animal here reacts to the presence of humans with caution. Such a reaction raises suspicions. Could it be that the island truly possesses an ancient defense system, watching over its inhabitants and protecting them from outside interference? The scientists continue to study the area, collecting samples of soil, plants, and water, striving to find molecular evidence to support their hypotheses. One day they stumble upon a remarkable discovery. On ancient carvings in one of the caves, there are scenes depicted that resemble the postures of animals observed on the island today. These artworks appear to be part of an ancient message hidden within the stone walls. This discovery calls into question the notion of the ordinary. After all, it suggests that the ancient inhabitants possessed knowledge of nature and its hidden laws that we can only guess at. Everything found points to a complex web of interactions between nature and human presence. The culmination comes with the realization that nature here seems to come alive, obeying some ancient ritual. Scientists begin to systematize all the facts and observations, striving to create an overall picture so complex and multifaceted that it could overturn our understanding of the interaction between humans and the environment. Thus, this mysterious island not only keeps its secrets, but also reveals a new layer of knowledge that has until now been hidden from humanity. As they conclude their research, the scientists realize that they are only on the threshold of discovery and that the true revelation still lies ahead.